So a few different companies are reporting earnings tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure that we quickly talked about it. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. So as many of you guys know, Coinbase is set to report earnings, and on the larger time frame, it is retesting a very common support range. Last time Coinbase was trading at right around 150 per share was during the trade war sell-off in 2025. It also retested that range middle to late 2024. And then again, it tested that what was previous a resistance range at the end of 2023. So it looks like we are testing a major support range. But why did it experience a little bit more selling pressure today if it doesn't report earnings until tomorrow? Well, it's because of what was reported yesterday. So the reason Coinbase sold off so much yesterday and into the pre-market session and into the open was that Robinhood reported earnings, right? We made a video talking about Robinhood and the overall outlook. I don't think many people were surprised that its guidance was lowered for 2026. Remember, Robinhood and a very similar business is Coinbase. They make money through trading fees, trading activity, and payment through order flow. These free trading platforms or low commission platforms, when trading activity is very high and markets are trading at all-time highs, they produce more revenue. It's kind of common sense, right? Well, what Robinhood shed light on is that trading activity was down. And that was after crypto peaked in Q4 of 2025. So it's going to be interesting to see how Coinbase reports earnings, especially it being more centralized on crypto itself, which is down 50%. Bitcoin is down 50% from previous all-time highs as of right now. From overall highs of $444 to current lows, it is currently down to lows of 153, which is a 65% retracement. Let me make this very clear. I believe, in my opinion, that Coinbase will only sell off further as long as crypto continues to fall. Not rocket science, kind of just makes sense. As more crypto bros that are over leveraged are getting liquidated, trading activity is bound to slow down as there's less buying pressure and more panic selling and people getting out. If that continues, again, based off of their guidance, that can determine if we break the support right around 140, well, how low can we go, right? That's the big question. From the lows of 140, can we retest 120, 115? Can then we retest 100? I really do believe that a lot of it has to do with, well, depending on how stable and how leveraged a lot of these platforms are. Hopefully Coinbase, because it is a well-ran business to some degree, hopefully they did their part in not over leveraging themselves at overbought levels. Very similar to kind of like FTX, that when markets begin to retrace, they lost too much money and they cannot literally just upkeep with all the withdrawals. Hopefully that doesn't happen for Coinbase. But I've actually, again, I talked about it yesterday. I've grown to appreciate these businesses. I still think they're overvalued, but I've grown to appreciate them. If we look at Coinbase, according to investing.com and a series of different analysts, they say that there's some upside. So if you're bullish on that, I respect your opinion and your decision to want to go long. For me, I want it to be a killer deal. That's just me. I can't predict the future. I don't know if this is the bottom for crypto and if this is the bottom for Coinbase, but based off of how things are looking, crypto looks weak. And if it continues to get weaker, that means that Coinbase can continue to sell off further. And that's the part that excites me. In comparison, its P ratio is fundamentally kind of low, 12.8 times its earnings. And its net income is not terrible. Revenue is 7.37 and net income is 3.2 billion. So overall, I kind of like the company. When you look at the pro research for investing.com, it's kind of all over the place. It did kind of well in 2021, but let me show you. Remember, 2021, once we peaked for the crypto run, we entered that crypto winter. I want you to see firsthand how much of an impact lower trading activity has on the revenue these companies generate. Remember, you can think about a stock technically, but do you understand the stock fundamentally, the business fundamentally? And you can see that when it entered that crypto winter, and again, we could see it's early 2022, 2022, and then we began to bottom right around mid to late 2023, revenue began to uptick. Let's look at, I don't even want to look at Coinbase, right? Because Coinbase, you could see that very similar. It sold off, began to bottom, and then mid to late 2023, it began to uptick. But if you look at BTC, oh, wrong BTC. Let me pull it up here. Let's look at the week time frame, and we can pull up 2022. We flatlined. We began to uptick mid 2023, and we really began to make higher highs and higher lows late 2023, right? You can see the date down here. It's really cool to see how trading activity and how price action, right? When trading activity and buying pressure begins to uptick for crypto, how it has a direct correlation to the business. It's literally as simple as it gets. Coinbase makes a lot of its revenue through trading activity, trading fees, order flow. So if you expect there to be a slowdown, we would expect revenue to begin to retrace and the stock price continue to fall. And again, if I can get it for a cheap deal, I don't have to get it at the lowest price, but I'm a deal hunter. And if I can get it at a fair enough price, I would love to pick up some coin, maybe at 60, 70, $80 per share. We'll see how low crypto goes and how low Coinbase goes as well. So again, very excited to follow up. Another one that a lot of our traders were talking about is Rivian. Rivian has been getting pretty hurt from highs of $23 per share down to lows of $13 to $14 per share. So is this a very consistent stock and bullish stock? No. It has its highs, it has its lows, it has its highs, it has its lows. It's speculative. It is somewhat oversold, but the cheap can always get cheaper, especially if its guidance is lowered for 2026. Remember, Rivian is not a profitable business. Feel free to look it up. We type it into Investing Pro. You guys can see that it's a company that has a negative 5.1 PE ratio and it loses $3.5 billion. Again, I don't think that a company that loses money, especially not being super new, and especially as government subsidies went away, if they're not beginning to chip away at that negative revenue, then again, what exactly are you investing in? And I think that that's what a lot of investors are going to be looking out for tomorrow with its guidance. What is its outlook for 2026? So again, I could see why a lot of people are paying attention to it based off of current lows. And if it exceeds market expectation, maybe we can see an uptick, right? It is relatively low based off recent price action. But again, the cheap can always get cheaper and trading earnings is incredibly risky. One of the biggest BS companies that I think is going to be reporting earnings tomorrow is NBIS. Called it out when it was at highs of $100 per share. Now it's retraced 30%. It's testing a common support range at $70 to $80 per share. I just don't believe in any of these gimmicky companies that are, a lot of them are pre-revenue. So let's pull it up here. NBIS, if I'm not mistaken, this is the energy-based company. I'll have to double check. So a technology company engages in full stack infrastructure service, global, whatever. $218 million is what it has, and it's a P ratio of 195 times its earning, trading at an incredible premium. It went from lows of $20 per share to highs of $141 per share. So in a very short period of time, it 7x'd. To me, that's a huge red flag. And again, it's always the most speculative stocks that sell off aggressively as we enter an uncertain time. If markets do enter a recession, these are the companies that will fall the hardest because, again, they're speculative. And those are the ones that investors and institutions trim off first, as they're the ones that are bound to experience the hardest retracement. So currently trading at $88, of course, being incredibly speculative. If they have a great guidance for 2026, it could go, parabolic and go back up to maybe retest $100 to $110 per share. I stay away from stocks like this. They're just not my style. They're too volatile. With that being said, obviously it reports earnings tomorrow, so I wanted to make sure that I talked about it. The main one that I'm focused on for tomorrow is going to be MSTZ. As many of you guys know, as BTC is beginning to drop, I don't trade BTC. I don't trade Bitcoin. But what I do is I can short MSTR. MSTR follows the direction of Bitcoin. If anything, sometimes it sells off even more. And as MSTR sells off, the inverse ETF, MSTZ, goes up. I would not recommend this for beginners. Again, it's a double leveraged inverse ETF. I would not recommend it for beginners. Just because I'm trading it doesn't mean that you should. With MSTR, if it continues to sell off as Bitcoin continues to sell off, a way that I've been able to make some money, especially today, I made $7,500. I closed out my trade fully. We'll see how it plays tomorrow. If we see negative price action on Bitcoin and an MSTR, I could go long on MSTZ and make some money as Bitcoin continues to sell off. And that's what we'll be talking about in tomorrow's live trading session. So again, quick little recap on the overall day and what to prep and look out for tomorrow as those 3 companies are set to report earnings. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. If you guys want to tune on into our live trading session tomorrow, that's the second link in the description down below. And I hope to see you there. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.